All right, I think we've got everybody ready to go here, so let's jump into the upper bracket best of 5, Rw9 versus Nwpo. This one is going to be ridiculous. Now, Rw9 looked completely dominant against OSM in his opening match today. Did not allow OSM to really get into the match at all. OSM was making minor improvements as we went on, game to game there. But even if OSM was able to sneak a win in Game 3, the series just looked really, really far away from him. It looked like it was going to be very, very tough to have any chance in a matchup like that when Rw9 is playing that well and you're playing with high ping. But there's still a chance for OSM to make that lower bracket run, of course. Rw9, meanwhile, picking up where he left off, getting the opening goal against Nwpo as well. If he can dominate Nwpo, then I guess that's just a statement that he is the guy in the Middle Eastern region right now, at least in the AMENA tournament today when we don't have TRK playing. Great save by Rw9. Nwpo's landed out of position there. Rw9 going to counter-attack successfully and go up by 2. You've got to be so careful against this guy. He just lands on his wheels. He always lands on the back wall in positions others might not. Gets excellent positions for himself. Worth mentioning, by the way, that the last time, and I believe the only time that these two have played, it did go to Game 5, and it was Rw9 who was victorious. Nwpo was up 2-1. Rw9 took Games 4 and 5 back-to-back, and that Game 5 in the matchup that they played was fairly one-sided in favor of Rw9 as well. Nwpo looking for his first goal of the game. The 50-50 mid-air denied by Rw9, but the one on the ground that follows it was Nwpo favoured. He will score his opener. Unusual to get any kind of defensive 50-50 past Rw9. Seems to be where he thrives, just knowing exactly what his opponent is capable of in any position. Rw9 just briefly missed the corner boost there, but Nwpo had already turned. High pop there from Rw9. It's just an awkward position for Nwpo to work with. He can't really do a lot with that. Not able to run it into his back corner, not really able to use it as a immediate setup for his shot. And Nwpo successfully defends and now gets started from his own half. Rw9 not falling for the mind games on that occasion. Nwpo's actually missed the mid boost. Rw9 spotted it, grabbed it, and after threatening a shot, lands a demo and puts himself 2 goals to the good. That was the difference, I think, between Rw9 and Nwpo. Or one of the differences is usually in a position like that, Rw9 would save the shot and then collect the ball and escape any potential demos. And Nwpo not quite as clean when it comes to the reactive defense. No one is, but yeah, even a player as mechanical as Nwpo is just usually that little bit more out of position compared to Rw9. And Rw9 is able to use those small positional advantages to turn them into goal-scoring opportunities. That was a big mistake, though, from Nwpo. Completely conceded the ball and conceded a goal easily as well. I think he was expecting Rw9 to advance, wanted a 50-50. Even if you are going to get a 50-50 in these kind of positions with Rw9, it's rarely a winning 50-50. It's usually even at best. Rw9 dusts Nwpo and goes up by 4 goals. This is just crazy to see after the level we saw from Nwpo against Dark, to see him now struggling to get any kind of good position for himself. It shows you that there are just so many levels to ones at the moment. Rw9 definitely the more active player as of late. Easily dispatches with a threatened double reset that Nwpo was just hanging in front of him. Nwpo quickly advances and again denied. And again Rw9 able to land on his wheels and get right back into the midfield to put pressure on his opponent again. I mean, this is just insane to witness. Nwpo struggle for this length of time against anyone. Rw9 with the air double demo, up by 5. He is simply better at the moment in this matchup. He saves everything and he doesn't let you have as easy a task saving his shots. Rw9 coming off the back of a big tournament win on European servers, beating Moxie in the final there, beating Khaled in that same tournament as well. Nwpo wants the mind game. He's even going to be denied there. I mean, it looked like Rw9 might have made a mistake, but he somehow gets back to the ball anyway, and now challenges early. I think that might bounce on target. Oh, it's just hit the bar. Rw9 there for the boost steal either way. Nwpo is not able to keep up with the Rast here. What a crazy sentence. I think earlier on today I told you that Nwpo can keep up with anyone, but Rw9 making him look second best in that department right now. 7-1. Absolute domination from Rw9, looking for his 4th straight game win of the day. And yeah, like I said earlier, if you're thinking about top 5s right now in ones, I think Rw9 has to be in there. I think he's just simply got to be in there. No matter who you've got, you better have Rw9 in your top 5. Yeah, TRK, Jan, Jack, Jorius, Daniel. Too many players to list right now. More than 5 players in the top 5. A constant problem for ones. Oh, that's extravagant. It's still denied. I mean, how many more ways can Nwpo think of putting shots on target only for Rw9 to think of ways to save them? He's going to score a 9th here. He wants 10 goals against Nwpo. He wants double figures. And all while keeping Nwpo to just 1 goal. He defends like his life depends on it. And he attacks like his opponents does as well. 9-1. Not many players have 9-1 Nwpo. Rw9 trying to pinch one in now. Goes more down the line than towards the goal. Still circling, still looking for that opportunity to score once more. Unsatisfied with 9. The most efficient takeoff there for Nwpo, for Rw9 I should say. Concede possession. You see, he's just as interested in preserving his 1 goal conceded stat as he is scoring a 10th. And it looks like he will not score his 10th. And Nwpo won't even score 2. Incredibly one-sided match there. Incredibly one-sided game to get things started here. How's the other twin getting on? I know Kalir's on paper is, I think, more favored against Nas than Rw9 is against Nwpo, but looking at how well Nwpo played, or looking at how well Rw9, played that first game, I can't imagine Kalir's is dominating Nas as hard as this, is he? Kalir's beat Nas 10-5. The twins might just be on a collision course this weekend. They might be on a collision course. Alright, we're into game 2 now. I'm back in the lobby. And I do still get admin mode. That's interesting. So it must just be party leader that determines who gets admin mode. But what is Nwpo going to switch up other than Car to try and swing things in his favor? You know, similarly to Dark in the matchup he just played against Nwpo. Nwpo now just has to take all the same precautions Dark did. He's got to stay close. It's so difficult to make comebacks against defensively sound players like Rw9. That's just phenomenal positioning by Rw9 on that 50-50. Not an easy one to read. Again, forcing the 50-50 in a position where Nwpo's got speed and boost advantage. Rw9 has passed him, but a bit too slowly. Nwpo's recoveries not looking like they've slowed down at all as of yet. Kind of surprised Rw9 didn't go for a double demo there. Definitely available for him. It's a bit early for the boost steal as well. Mistakes for Rw9, rare, but on occasion you've got to be ready to capitalize if they do happen. He was way too early for that boost steal. Nwpo runs away with the counter-attack. I want to see Nwpo just dive into that bag of kickoff tricks that he was showing off a little bit against Dark earlier. Just try and get Rw9 out of his rhythm, because at the moment nothing that Nwpo's done has really caused Rw9 to feel uncomfortable. We saw an unforced error for Rw9 to concede once there. This time he does spot the landing in the back corner. That's how you demo people in ones. You look for landings, because that's the vulnerable moment for Nwpo. There's literally nothing he can do there. He sees Rw9 coming towards him, and there's nothing he can do to stop the demo landing. Anytime your opponent flips, anytime that they're falling down to the ground, that's when they're most vulnerable to being demoed. As well as, of course, blind spot approaches. Rw9, double reset, and a creative one at that. How has he pulled this off? The first reset was late, he flew low and shot even lower off the back of it. Well, it looked like he might have jumped off the ball with the first landing, but he got right back to it. And if that's not deceptive, then I don't know what is, because how are you supposed to see that one coming? Rw9 now with another reset. This one scooped to the side of his opponent. 3-1. Goes under him and now goes beside him. Placement personified by the tournament favourite. You might even be able to get both those in the same clip if you want to. It's a good thing about these guys in ones. You know, a lot of people say, or maybe not a lot of people, but you know, it's often suggested, and I think it's an interesting suggestion. So I'm not trying to put down on it at all. It's always good to suggest things and to talk about things like this, but it's often suggested that kickoffs are harmful for the game Rocket League, and kickoffs are harmful for 1v1, and that kickoff goals are boring, and the fact that kickoffs exist only serve to make the game unnecessarily volatile. But I love that kickoffs are the way that they are in ones, because you can get a banger of a goal and then boom, kickoff possession for the same player and another banger. Like, you wouldn't get that if kickoffs were played in another way, like possession being given to the other player. You'd probably just end up in midfield, play more often, and have a lot of 1-0, 2-0 games at halftime. Like, this is one of the advantages of kickoffs, in my opinion, being the way that they are, is you can get more uneven positions, you can get more interesting positions that wouldn't otherwise happen in a normal midfield back and forth. Still get plenty of midfield back and forths as well. Those can be interesting. Just not if they're the only thing happening. You know, I mean, you all know what it's like when you just have two players who are battling for the midfield and you have a 1-0 for 5 minutes. Well, Rw9 has gone into just as comfortable of a scoreline. This is making OSM's loss to Rw9 look a whole lot better, by the way. Rw9 completely dumpstered OSM in game 1. And then game 2, OSM played a much more respectable scoreline. And then game 3 was actually down to the wire between those two players. Nwpo, on the other hand, has been completely incapable of adjusting. He does not have an answer for Rw9's current level and current Rw9's strategy. He's tried the car switch. He's trying to go for a bit more unpredictable and explosive approach. Rw9 has matched him every step of the way. It's a gorgeous setup by Nwpo on that air dribble, but Rw9 comfortably blocks it and has ample boost to threaten a counter-attack. Absolutely bangs the shot, does not overextend for the corner boost, and Nwpo, while trying to get an air dribble started, accidentally backflips. So it's actually him who's feeling the pressure here. Rw9 up against Nwpo's offense, one of the most dangerous players in the world, with the ball and 100 boost, being made to look quite normal by the best defender in the world. When he's got 100 boost or 10 boost, it doesn't seem to matter. He is always able to get that touch on the ball that he needs. He's forcing Nwpo to really stretch himself thin, but finally Nwpo gets through. You know, even that wasn't a given that it was going to be a goal. Rw9 could have played a more safe challenge on that one. Maybe got a bit greedy for the counter attack. Can Nwpo build on this? He's got another possession for himself and a ton of space to work with. Reset secured. Leaning back to try and fake a ground pinch. Wants the dunk and he gets it. Finally, Nwpo's making some headway. He was threatening a ground pinch here, jumped back up into the air, and then leaned into the ball to get a delayed contact. The dunk Rw9 in an unexpected angle. 1:17 to go. Nwpo needs more kickoff possessions to go his way. Rw9 is backwards here. Nwpo might secure this one. Indeed he will. Rw9 gives him the position. Nwpo straight back into the air. Rw9 pre-jumps early and he got to the ball very quickly there. Nwpo thought he had more time. Rw9 says otherwise. He's not just going to sit on his goal line and slap away long shots, pre-jump air dribbles. He mixes in those early challenges. It's something that, if you guys watch my cast for Rw9 back in the day, you'll know that I talked about it a lot, that Rw9 maybe relied a bit too much on his goal line defense. Oh, no way, Nwpo scored this. Well, he's going to need one more touch, but that's exquisite finishing from Nwpo to keep this game competitive. Perfect approach to the ball there to beat Rw9 to the punch. Like I was saying, Rw9, he's definitely supplemented his spectacular goal line defense with the occasional early challenge, just to keep his opponents guessing. The occasional early pre-jump on an air dribble, again, to keep his opponents from being able to just completely read him on every single play. Nwpo still in with a chance of making this endgame interesting, but that boost steal from Rw9 completely limited him from options. Rw9 has accidentally played into the only option Nwpo had. That was to lunge in for the challenge. This is all Nwpo had. He had no boost. He just had to play the ball and hope that Rw9 picked the bad challenge angle. And that's exactly what's occurred. 2-goal game, 31 seconds to go. And a huge kickoff win for Nwpo again. He's going to get the ball to the sidewall. Just grabs the boost on the drive-by. And he has a dodge to play with. Pinches low. Rw9 is there to save it. He stayed with him every step of the way, but still, Nwpo gaining in that position. He's got Rw9 boost starved, but Rw9 still manages to accelerate the ball to safety, still manages to counter-attack, and he will, I think, just confirm the win here. It's not going to be another goal, but it's going to be the next best thing. The time is gone. Nwpo trails by 2 and will not be completing the comeback in the second game. Still, much better finish than what we had at halftime. I think at halftime we had 6-1 or something. Something like that. So this is definitely an improvement, a big improvement for Nwpo. He started to get his offense rolling and started to make the most of his possession. I think he's realized that if he overextends against Rw9, he's going to concede. He probably knew that coming in today, but maybe underestimated Rw9's level. As it might have been a while since these guys played ones against each other. Not sure how active Nwpo's been in ranked, or Rw9 for that matter. If Nwpo underestimated Rw9's level, he's definitely not underestimating him anymore. He knows he's got to be so careful advancing. Just take his time. Try to be a little bit more cautious with his possession plays. Definitely limit the amount of times he's going all in with his offense. Look at this from Nwpo. That is an unbelievable pre-jump. He's up before Rw9 even starts the air dribble. Rw9 actually saw where Nwpo was, tried to chip the ball past him, and Nwpo changed his angle mid-air to anticipate Rw9's outplay. That's almost like a double read. He read that Rw9 wanted to air dribble, and then he read that Rw9 would see him pre-jumping and air dribble in a different direction. So, crazy from Nwpo. I don't think Rw9 is reaching this one. Rare thing to see, but he's actually out of position. And Nwpo leads by 2. Plenty of card changes from Nwpo today. He's back in the Fennec. He's started the series in the Fennec, lost, switched to the Octane, had a much better time of it. And now he's back in the Fennec again. The car that he lost, I think 9-1 in game 1. Yeah, he did. He lost 9-1 in game 1 in this car, but he thinks that it might be more of a playstyle problem, more of an execution issue than a hitbox issue, which is a good thing, because he's not actually switched hitbox. Yan versus these guys, who would win? Yan versus Rw9 is one of the most interesting matchups on paper, because if you've got to think, if anyone can get past Rw9's defense, you'd probably have to pick Yan to do that. I can't think of anyone else in the world who would have a chance of making Rw9's defense look normal. No one in Europe, no one in the Middle East has made Rw9's defense look normal, and I'm fairly confident that no one in North America would make Rw9's defense look normal either. So I think Yan is the only guy who would have a chance of making Rw9 adapt. No one that's ever played Rw9 has forced him to adapt into a more aggressive defensive strategy. No one has forced him to forgo his goal line defense priorities. But I think Yan would be the best shout to do that. Still don't think he would do it though. I'd still back Rw9 to make his playstyle work against anyone. If anyone's going to beat this guy, I don't think it's going to be on their terms. I think they just have to accept the fact that he's going to defend like the best defender in the world, and you're just going to need to also defend to an extremely high level to have any chance. Am I saying Rw9 is the GOAT? No, I think he's the GOAT defender. Well, yeah, I think he's a GOAT goalkeeper in ones, maybe GOAT defender in ones. I think so, yeah, GOAT defender, sure, why not? Well, depending what your definition of GOAT is. Maybe GOAT is the wrong word because, you know, greatest all time changes relative to the era you're in. But GOAT defender definitely. Is he the best? Has anyone ever reached a higher level of defense in ones than Rw9? I don't think so. I think he's at the pinnacle. But offensively, I think that there are other players who are better than him. And that's where players will, of course, have a chance against him. Because if you're better than Rw9 in offense, even if his defense is better than your defense, I mean, you're putting maybe the best offense in the world if you're Yan against the best defense in the world is Rw9 against S-tier offense from Rw9 and S-tier defense from Yan. So that's where it gets interesting. You know, that's why I said on paper that's probably the most interesting matchup that I haven't seen, because I think you've got the best offense and the best defense that I've ever seen in the world of ones. Not sure if you guys would agree with that, but if you agree that Yan is the GOAT offense and Rw9 is the GOAT defense, then type 1 in chat. For me, that's what it would be, at least off the top of my head. There are other players who are like who have been overall just as good as an average between the two, but that's, I think, my pick for best in both. If you've got any other suggestions, be sure to type them in chat. We can see what you guys think. Meanwhile, half the game gone in game 3. Nwpo putting up his best stand. Rw9 failing to really threaten Nwpo twice in a row now, once with a ill-advised wall shot gone wrong, and now with harmless flick. Quick shot on target here. Nwpo just manages to get a touch on that. Fantastic defense from Nwpo. Rw9 knew that he had him on low boost, so he just went for the early shot. Rw9 is still able to, or Nwpo is still able to get back to him, and he's going to score a 6th here. Nwpo stepping up to the task, refusing to go out without a fight. It's a stunning outplay, to be fair. You think Daniel in offense is better than Yan? I don't think so personally. I wouldn't say so. I think if Rw9 is in goal, like if you've got Rw9 in defense and your life depends on someone to score against him first try, you're giving Yan the controller. I think you're giving Yan the controller. Daniel is a player who I think is obviously S-tier defense, S-tier offense. He's top tier in both. But I think if you need a goal, like if you need somebody to just score against Rw9 more than anyone else, I think Yan's the guy. On paper, at least, I think he's the guy. His offense is just so unstoppable. We haven't seen Dandroid. Well, I mean, yeah, Dandroid, of course, is another thing entirely. Obviously, bot Phoenix are excluded as overpowered and therefore not allowed to be used. A little bit of a bot Fennec move there from Rw9, stopped by Nwpo, who's just hanging on to this 3-goal lead at the moment. Rw9 fakes one way, fakes the other way, and then blasts a shot near post. All while demoing Nwpo, who was trying to figure out which way is this shot going exactly. Near post, far post? Oh, no, it is in fact near post. Great approach from Rw9, really confusing Nwpo and giving him no chance to react. With 48 seconds left, Nwpo's still in a fantastic position, all made even better by that kickoff going his way, but he's completely all in on it. That is not the play from Nwpo. Rw9 gifted another goal. Nwpo, he wanted the 3-goal advantage so badly that when the ball didn't sit pretty for him, he still went for it. And now with 37 seconds to go, Rw9 is just 1 goal away from completing this comeback. The game has been Rw9's favoured for the last minute or so, maybe even the last 2 minutes. Here he comes again, and this 50-50 will go through. Rw9 faked the side flip shot across the face of the goal. and then just went for the 50 instead. Nwpo did not have sufficient momentum to stop it. 28 seconds left. We could even have a regulation winner for Rw9. He has got all the momentum on his side. Nwpo's mentality is really being tested right now. He did so well, put up his best game yet, but it has completely fallen apart at the tail end. Was this a 6-2 game, or am I misremembering? Was it 6-2 or 6-3? I know it was 6-3 at one point. Was it a 6-2 game? Nwpo, either way, had by far the best chance that he's had all day of taking down Rw9. And Rw9 has just been too good. He's pressuring the ball here on low boost, forces Nwpo into a corner, and Rw9 doing Rw9 things. It's almost impossible to low 50 this man as he goes up by 2 with only 1 second left. GG's, Rw9 undefeated on the day. 6 wins, no losses. OSM and Nwpo suffered the same sweeping defeat. What a comeback by Rw9. One thing that he just did oh so well in this game, and all day actually, is when somebody's air dribbling and he pre-jumps, his ability to then fly back down precisely where he needs to be to block a low 50-50. If he pre-jumps an air dribble and his opponent then switches to go low, Rw9 is unbelievably good at just blocking those low 50-50s. And it's not easy to do. I mean, when you pre-jump and the opponent actually goes low on a 50, instead of continuing for a high air dribble, it's very difficult to get a strong challenge, deflect the ball to safety, but Rw9 just does it every single time. It's incredible. So demoralizing to play against. Rw9 sweeps again, and he will be in the top 4 tomorrow.